My name is Luann Pikett. You are on my page. My hair looks a little crazy, doesn't it? Okay, I didn't realize it looked a little wackadoo. Okay, so it's going to do that then, okay? We're just going to live with it. All right, so we're going to do, I thought, a little fun makeup today with some patriotic colors because it's a holiday weekend. So, I'm going to start with my first face primer. Say hello when you come in. Even if you're watching the replay, just say hello. Hello, how are you doing? Okay, so here we go. We're going to let that dry a little bit. That's our primer spray. My hair really... What happened is this whole half just fell. It just fell. All right, here. I think we just have to live with it because it's just crazy right now. My hair is just limp today. It's really limp today. Needs to be washed, but it's just going to have to wait because I'm busy doing this right now. All right, so we're going to start with my foundation. So I'm going to do, let's do this today. I'm going to do this for fun, I think. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to do half. I'll put half this on. I am going to do the other half, but I'm going to start with half. Okay, so we're putting this foundation on this half. There we go. And then we're going to have there we go. There's half. And then I'm going to go ahead and do, let's use my brush and put a little, that's not the right one. That's this one I have. And I'm going to do a little bit of the Concealer Zero. Oh, we'll put that right here. Hi, how are you today? Happy Saturday. Just doing a little makeup fun today. And I'm putting this light concealer up under here where it's super dark. I mean, it's dark everywhere, but it's just super dark. So I'm going to put this here today. I do different techniques with this sometimes. Sometimes I do color correcting. Sometimes I do this. It's just different things. Different things. I have different ways to try it. Some days it looks better than others. That's probably user error. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to set that just a little bit with powder. And the reason I'm going to do that is I don't want it to mix with what I'm going to put on top of it. I want it to be set right there. So we're leaving that set. And then I'm going to get this color, this one, which is a couple of shades darker. And it will go more with my skin tone. You can use a lighter color here. Hi, Marguerite. How are you doing? Well, so I am putting the skin tone one. Hello. Are you freezing? Your buns off? We're not here. It's cold for Florida, but it's not. No, no snow. No freezing. Hi, Holly. I am at the moment doing half my face. I'm going to do half my face, then we'll do the other half of the face. Then we're going to do something fun, patriotic. Look at the lift I get in that. I feel like the whole side of my face goes up. Yes, you're freezing. You're freezing your buns off. I am glad it's not that cold here. I've had all kind of experiences yesterday and today. I noticed about a week ago. Well, I went. Hi, Casey. How are you? So I am putting on right now half my face. If you missed the beginning, this dark circle is natural. I do not have a black eye. This one looks the same. These are hereditary. I've had them since I was about 10. And as you will see, it goes all the way around my eye and is still here. I just covered this with our concealer. So I have foundation on this half of my face and concealer right here because I'm kind of showing you the difference. And I'm going to go now to this concealer. This is a wax-based concealer, also wax-based foundation. You see it is a solid. It is not a synthetic wax. It's not like candle wax. It's a plant-based wax. and it feels like nothing. It looks like natural skin. It's made to look like natural skin. It's does not clog your pores or settle into fine lines and wrinkles. So if you're a little older, it's not going to make you look even older. If you're younger, it's just going to be awesome. And I'm going to use this one just a little bit lighter. This is number 2 concealer. Concealers are smaller. Also, our foundation has, by the way, what this is called Lime Life by Alcone. Our foundation has 50% pigment. You will not find another foundation on the market, on the planet, with more than 18 to 24% pigment. Meaning, most foundations, particularly the liquids, are filled with fillers. They don't have much color. And that's why you don't get good coverage and why you have to slather on a ton of it and you're still disappointed. The foundation we have is 50% pigment, meaning it's half color. So you hardly need any. And so that's why it doesn't look like you've caked a lot on, and it doesn't feel like anything. It feels like, I have put this on a lot of people and I'll say, how does that feel? They're like, it feels like you're just putting a dry brush on my face. It feels like nothing. Like, I know. It's quite amazing. Okay, so I've already covered up the wickedness like this that's over here. And I will show you in a minute how it looks when I do that one. And I'm going to put the makeup all over the side of the face too, but I'm just showing you the difference right now. So I have that. So I'm going to take my translucent powder right here. Now this makeup was created, actually, most of it, the foundation and the concealers. The concealers actually have 60% pigment, so they're even higher, and will cover tattoos. That's how good they are. And it was created specifically for Hollywood and Broadway to replace the horrible, they used to have this makeup they used called grease paint, and it was just so bad for their skin and clogged their pores, and it was just grease. So in the 1950s, they created a new makeup that was specifically made for camera, film, and bright stage lights and filming lights. And so it's particularly made for photography. So if you're ever going to have pictures, even if it's just with your phone, it doesn't matter, any kind of pictures, you will get the best results from this. It has no flashback, meaning it's not going to look like you have a bright white face or something. So this is the translucent powder. This powder was also created specifically for high definition television. So it's really, really finely milled, so those little tiny grains of powder won't even show up in high definition filming. I'm going to take a little bit of a bigger brush here, and I'm going to set the makeup with a little powder. This will cause everything, it blurs your lines, and it just softens it and gives it a natural look. Now you can see, I can show you over here. See, and I have it on the other side too. See this right here is your broken blood vessels. They're like spider veins. See, I have one there, I have one there. I have them over here too. But this has makeup on. But it's like I have a matching set. It's weird. It's like I have a matching set. And you can see how dark my dark circles are. But if you can see, I haven't shown this actually for a long time. You can see these little spider veins. That's what that is, broken blood vessels. And you can't really, and it's really hard to cover red, because red shows through really bad. And so I'm going to show you in a minute how that covers it. I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to do some eyeshadow and some eyebrows. So I was starting to tell the story that I've had like these a lot of events happening lately. One was about a week ago. Well, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, let's go back to that. I'm taking my setting spray, and I'm going to spray a little bit on my palette, so I just have a little puddle. Then I'm going to get my brush wet. I'm going to pick up some of this eyeshadow right here called Ashen for Trouble, and I'm going to do my brows with it. And because it's setting spray, it will set it so it won't smear. It will also make it darker. So I'm just putting my brush in here. So my phone has a stick-on, like, protector for the glass. Well, the protector, not the phone, the protector piece of plastic started cracking, and I'm like, aha, well, they told me, well, if anything ever happens to that coating, you come get a new one for free. I'm like, okay. So I went by to the phone store, said, looky here, all little cracks, I need mine for free. Well, of course, they were out. They had to order. And I'm like, well, I just have to walk around with this broken. They're like, oh, it'll be fine. Okay. So they ordered it. It took almost 2 weeks to get here. Ridiculous. But about a week before it showed up, I noticed so strange, the back of my phone was bulging. I'm like, why is my phone bulging? So when I got that thing in the mail, I took it to them and I said, well, I got the thing in the mail, but what's up with my phone? And so they looked at it and they're like, oh, your battery is swollen. So that's not good. And I had insurance. So like, okay, so you get a free phone. I'm like, free phone. Of course, I have to pay stupid deductible, but still, free phone. Okay. So there's a brow. Now look at the difference in this. So that's one thing. So I'm waiting for my free phone, and then I have to take it back to them and let them switch my phone over and put the plastic on the new one. Okay, so you will see I gave myself a little peak right here. And it's a little more rounded, but you can see as you get older, at least for me, as I get older, my brows thinned out, my hair thinned out. Everything but my body thinned. My body got heavier, my hair got thinner. Don't like that. But it's aging. This is aging. Hi, Casey, how are you? So I've got one brow done, and you can see how this gives my eye a lift. Now, I have very hooded eyes, more hooded eyes than anybody can possibly ever have. They're like more than 100% hooded because they actually push down a little. So what a hooded eye is, if you don't know, it is this is your hood and this is your lid. And when your hood completely covers your lid, you have hooded eyes. Well, it gives you a saggy look, and particularly when you have these wicked dark circles. Hi, Michelle. When you have these wicked dark circles, it drags your eye down and it makes it look really sunken, like a black eye sunken hole. But this one, I'm telling you, looks the same without the concealer. But look how it pops that out and how it gives me somewhat of a lift. But then you can use your eyeshadow to get even more of a lift. I'm hunting for what I just did with my brush. Here it is. All right, so I'm going to take, I'm probably going to take this one right here, that brown. And I'm going to kind of use that as a transition shade, meaning it's kind of a light color. So I am now waiting for my new phone. Thank goodness I get replacement. I'm waiting for that. Then today, I got a notice for my cable bill. I always get a notice for the cable bill every month. And I noticed this month it was up $27. I'm like, oh, yikes. No. So I called them. Well, I don't know if your cable company does this. Mine is Comcast, or it's now called like Xfinity. I don't know if yours does this, but they have a virtual assistant, and they don't want to talk to you with a person. Now look how, what I'm doing is I am elongating my eye and lifting it with kind of a point here. So this lifts the look of my eye. So see, it does not look like it sags like this one, because what your eye does, your eye follows this. And because that lifts up, your eye lifts up. Marguerite said hi. Everybody. She said hi, everybody. So I called the cable company, and they said, would you like, it's an automated thing. Hello, would you like us to send you a link to the virtual assistant? I said, no. I want to talk to a person because of questions. I don't know what I need to do, but I don't want this $27 extra. And I don't know what I need to fix it. And and they're like, you can click and go to your account. Well, I tried that, and all it said was, congratulations, your apartment complex provides your service. No, it provides the internet. It does not provide the cable. And I don't know how to work with that. And it didn't show me anything else. So I'm like, no. And then it kept asking me questions. Do you want us to send you a link? No. If you do this and this and this will help you. Can we send you the link now? I'm like, no. I must have told it no 5 times. And finally, at the end of the automated call, it says, we have now sent you the link. What about no? Do they not understand? I'm like, no. And they're like, please click onto the link. And if you do not click onto the link, this call will be ended. I'm like, oh, you bullies. What the heck? So I'm like, so I went over to go over and click on it. And as I'm clicking on it, I hear the automated thing telling me, we are now disconnecting your call. Goodbye. I'm like, oh, good call. So I went to the thing, and it's just a bunch of, it's not a person, it's a virtual assistant. And so it said, how can we help you? And it gives you a bunch of choices. And so I clicked on manage my account. And they're like, oh, you can go to our website. Yeah, I've already heard that. No. I'm also going to blur this. I don't want to go to the website. I already tried that. I already did that. No. And I typed in representative. And they said, oh, before we can give you to an agent, I'm like, okay, that's their word. Okay. Before we can give you to the agent, we need to try to solve the problem. And I'm like, so I typed, I want an agent. It ignored me and it gave me this, here is where you can go. So I clicked on several things, just say I did it. And I kept coming back and saying, agent. I want to talk to agent. And then it's like, click on this if you need help. And I'm answering, no. And I'm like, this is not helpful. And it says, I do not understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's why I need a person. You don't understand what I'm saying when I said this is not helpful? Finally, after I had clicked around on this for 30 minutes, it says, I will connect you to a live chat. I'm like, ugh, then I got to sit here. And type. I don't want to type. I want to talk. But no, virtual. Okay, fine. So I'm typing, and I is actually a real person. I'm now going to get a little darker color. This one right here. I'm going to put this up here in the corner. This is what I tell Holly is my little tornado. Make it a little tornado looking thing over here. It's really kind of like a sideways V. Michelle, hi. She says, hi, Holly. Hi, Luann. Hi, Mark Your Beat. So I'm typing away telling her, look, I don't want to pay $27. What can I do? Do I need to give her some channels? She goes, let me look at the options you have. So she comes back. At least I think it was a woman. There's no voice. It's just words I'm having to read. That was your tornado. So you're putting it darker here on the outside. And so I said, she said, oh, I can offer you the same package. And it'll only be a $5 increase, not a $27 increase. And I'm like, I guess, all right, I can live with that. I'm like, okay, but what channels, am I losing any channels? And she goes, oh, it will be the exact same package that you had. It's just a promotion. It'll be exact same things. You will not lose any channels. It's just for a 1 year, you will get this. I said, what happens after the year? And she said, well, you'll have to go back and, ask for another promotion. So apparently they would offer the exact same thing I have for a $5 increase instead of a $27 increase. But they're going to slap the $27 on you unless you complain. But they won't let you talk to any people to actually complain. Hardly. So I said, okay, if I get all the same channels, $5 increase, all right, I can live with that, then do it. She goes, okay, well, we have to send you a link for you to, confirm. You have to click those boxes. I agree to your terms of service. I agree. So I'm like, okay, fine. So she sends me this link on text, and I go over, and she goes, let me know when you've done it. I'm like, okay. So I go over to do it, and it kicks me out of the chat. I'm like, oh, great. How am I going to get that back? So I went over and I did all the stuff that it said to do, click the boxes, and it said confirm, and I confirmed, okay. And I'm like, well, I wonder if that worked, because I don't have her to go back, and I went tried, and I'm like, I don't know if it went through. I assume it went through. I don't know if it went through. Okay, now you can see how I have a shadow up here, and how this takes away the look of the puffy hood. And this one isn't quite as bad, because I still do actually have brown hair. But you can see how this, look how this lifts everything. Lifts my eye, lifts my brow, lifts my face, pops out the dark eye, everything. I know, it was, oh man, I was like. So then I went back, and I have to even get to the virtual chat, because if you try to go back, the automated one, if you try to go back in and it goes, no, this link's expired. I'm like, what? So I had to call again, got the automated people on the phone again, and they said, oh, we will, would you like us to connect you to a link? And I went, to the virtual chat, to the virtual. Like, not really? And they're like, we don't understand that. And I'm like, yes. And so they send me again. And so I'm typing to the virtual one again. And I'm like, agent. And it kept saying, oh no, pick one of these choices. So I picked manage my account again. Oh, you can go out into the whole same thing. I'm like, no, agent. There was one time I typed it 4 times. Agent. Like, come on. And then it said, okay, we will connect you to an agent. I'm like, oh, finally. Then it said, I'm sorry, we're experiencing technical difficulty. We cannot connect you to an agent at this time. Try again later. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I kept trying. So I hung that up, called them again. They gave me the virtual thing again. I'm trying agent. Now, apparently it's not working. They're not even offering it to me anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're supposed to be a technology company. And so I'm typing in this virtual chat. This is worthless. I hope they read it. Like somebody. This chat is worthless. I was typing it. I was actually typing it because I'm getting really. By this time, I have been doing this for an hour. An hour. I'm looking at my, like, I wanted to go outside and walk, you know, get my little walk done while it's still cool outside. It's pretty cool the whole day. But, I mean, it was really cool. And I want to go outside. No, I'm fighting with this. And I'm like, I don't know if it worked. And I've tried to go to my account, and it's saying, it's just not taking me to where it shows me. And so it says, like, you have this plan. Yeah, but did I get the cheaper price? Or did I not get the cheaper price? I know I got the plan. So then I called the regular phone again. And it's like, this thing is talking to me now, the automate. Oh, hello, Luann. Oh, yeah, you know me now. Sure you do. And so they're like, are you still having trouble? Yes. Would you like to speak to an agent? Yes. Finally gave me to a live person after an hour. And he went in and looked at it and said, oh, no, it didn't confirm. They must have had some glitch or something. That's a good thing I called. He fixed it in 10 minutes. If I had just gone to a live person, it would have been 10 minutes, not an hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, ooh. So I asked this guy at the end. He was very nice, very friendly, very, very competent. And I said, can you tell me something? How can I avoid that virtual chat? I hate it. I don't want to do it. He goes, you can't. And I'm like, how do I get out of it? How do I get to a live person? He goes, well, a couple of customers have given me some tips. I'll share them with you. I'm like, yes, please. He's like, tell the virtual chat you want to disconnect your account. He says, it can't do it. It won't disconnect it. But they will give you to a live person because they don't want you to disconnect your account. And I'm like, oh, okay. He said, or you can tell it you want more services. You don't have to actually get more services. Just tell the automated thing you need more services, and it can't do that. So you have to tell it something. He said, so now I said, okay, thank you. I hope I don't have to test it. But if I do have to test it, at least I know. Tell it I'm going to disconnect, and they will send you to a live person. I'm like, thank you. So I'm glad he told me. Thank you so much. But I like, and I still have to pay stinking extra $5. But boy, they don't make it easy. They don't want you to do it. They don't want you to do it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this dark brown and this little angle brush dry. And instead of using eyeliner, which of course you can use eyeliner, but you can also use our shadow as liner. And you just take it. You could use it wet if you want, or you can use it dry. And I'm just putting it up here above my eye. And you can see, now I don't do too many wings because if I do, my hood just covers it. You can see I did this little extra right there. See how it sticks out? But when I do like this, it's gone. So that's the curse of hooded eyes. It will just hide your lid. It hides everything. But see how this still like anchors. It makes you look like you have fuller lashes. And because I'm also older, and I just turned another year older, 2 days after Christmas. Yay. I'll have to tell you something funny about that too. I don't line the whole bottom because this pulls my eye back down. The dark pulls it back down. So this, since I have eyes that sag and the hooded eyes and everything and the dark circles, I'm trying to counteract it, and leaving it open opens up your eye. And if you go all the way around, you will close up your eye. Now, if you don't have hooded eyes and you're younger, it's probably okay to close up. It may be okay, look okay on you. But when you're older, your eyes are sagging, you have dark circles, you have hooded eyes, going all the way around is only going to drag your eyes back down. And I'm doing everything in my power to lift them up. Okay, now that's one. I haven't done the mascara yet, but let's do, well, I guess I could. We'll just do that too. we'll go ahead and finish. I'm going to finish this side. And I'm going to take my Time Setter setting spray. This is the one for dry skin. And do one side. That will help set all that eyeshadow and powder, makeup, and everything. Then I'm going to take my mascara and my eyelash curler. But, so it's like, seriously, I have to fight. I'm fighting with a virtual robot for over an hour. And he was resisting my requests. I'm saying, agent, they don't want to do it. They don't want, I guess they don't want to hire more people. And obviously my question is more involved. I didn't know there was a promotion. I didn't know I could say, hey, look, I want the same thing I got, but I want you to knock $22 off of this stupid price raise. I didn't know I could do that. That's why I needed a person. And I doubt that virtual assistant was going to say that. It was crazy. But I got a lesser price increase, which I at least can live with. I'm getting a free phone because mine is decided to bulge. But it's still working. This is what we're using right now. So I asked the guy at the phone store, I'm like, will this keep working? He goes, oh yeah. I'm like, okay. I said, well, when will I get my new phone? He goes, probably Monday. I said, you know that's Martin Luther King holiday? He goes, oh, probably Tuesday. Okay. That's what I'm figuring. I'm going to get it Monday. I'm going to get Tuesday. Then I got to go all the way back over there. That's so funny. You know that's a holiday, right? Oh, okay. Then Tuesday. Oh, okay, goody. Alright, there we got, this is a smudge-proof mascara. You can do it on the bottom lashes. I hardly have any bottom lashes anymore, sadly. That's why I do this. Because it gives the illusion of lashes. There we go. Now look how it looks. To me, it makes my cheek look a little higher. It looks like my whole face is a little like that. We got lift here, lift here. Now you can only do so much. You can only do so much, but I'm going to do what I can do. Now I'm going to show you this foundation up close. Like I said, I haven't done this in a long time. Okay, I want you to look. Hopefully it's in focus here. Somewhat anyway. At these spider veins, I'm going to take my foundation and a brush. You can use a brush, a sponge. You can use your fingers, but brush or sponge is easier to get it streak free. And you're just going to roll it in here like this. And it's like, you know, there's no dripping. There's hardly any on. A lot of this is just color from when I had it on there before. You'll hardly need any. This is why it lasts forever. This will last, by the way, 6 to 8 months. Average foundation will last you 2.5 months if you use it every day. I know because I did it all the time. All right. See right here? See the brush? Watch. Just going to swirl it around. And because it's wax-based, it will soften as it warms to your skin. And it will cover. If you need a little more, you can get more. Whoops, I'm out of the camera. Sorry. Okay, now see, where'd they go? And I've only done that spot. As you can see, I've just done that spot. See, it's still a little pinkish here, so if you have a little discoloration, it will cover that. And all you do is this, and it just spreads around, and you don't hardly see anything, and I promise you, you feel nothing. You don't feel like you have anything on. It does not feel waxy, in spite of the fact that it has a plant-based wax. So this wax comes from a Brazilian palm leaf. That's what a plant-based wax is. It is not waxy, and it is not smothery. It does not make you feel like your skin can't breathe. Will not clog your pores or cause breakouts. It will not make your face oily. It will not make your face dry. And it's because it's a wax like this. So you can see what it looks like right there. Because it's a wax, it's movable. So because it's movable, if you've ever put on a liquid foundation and then it dries and it's like and you feel that dry tightening stuff. I really hate that, especially when you get older and your skin gets even drier. This doesn't dry. It's not wet, and it's not dry. It is it's almost like a cream, but creams can be kind of greasy. But this is a wax base, so it moves with your face. So if you're doing this, see how I'm like wrinkling? It's not going to, once you get it set with powder, it's not going to crease because it moves. It's not going to crack and crease. Now it will on me right here with these really big lines until I put powder on, because those are deep creases up there. But I haven't set with powder. So once you set it with the powder, you don't need a lot. You can put a lot of the powder if you want, but you don't have to. So if you're like, ooh, I don't like a lot of powder. I don't want to look powdery. I don't want to look dry. I don't want to, just barely put any. But this locks it in place. So you do have to put a little bit. Plus it will blur and soften any lines that you have. Now this will cover stuff like rosacea, butterfly lupus. I've even heard people that have that it will cover. Now, here we go with this. Now I do different things to kind of correct these dark circles. And what I did today on the other one was take the lightest concealer we have, Concealer Zero. You see it's really light. And my dark circle is a little darker right here because I've lost a lot of weight. And since I've lost a lot of weight, I sort of have a deeper trough there now because my skin kind of went, ooh. And so what's making that dark a lot is shadow. So darkness will cause things to recede and to shrink down. Like it will pull back, means look like it's sunk in, or it will look like it's dragged down. So light, if you put a light color on it, it reflects the light and removes the shadow. And suddenly don't look sunken now. It didn't change the level. You know, my skin is still the same. But because this reflects light, it no longer looks like a trough. It no longer looks like a little ditch. Isn't that amazing? So I'm going to take my powder now, because I'm going to put another color on top. But before I put the other color on top, I don't want it to blend into this one. I want this one to stay as an, they call this underpainting. So this one I want to stay right there as is. And I'm going to put another one on top. Now the one I'm going to put on top is closer to my skin color. And that is number 3, which is this one right here. So I'm going to take a brush. You can use your fingers for this. You can use a little sponge or the tip, like the corner of a sponge. But I like the brush because I can direct it. So I'm going to pick up some of this. And again, this is similar to the foundation in that it's wax base. It will soften to the warmth of your skin and be easier to spread. And I'm just pressing it on here because I don't want to drag my eye skin around because it's already loose. I don't want to make it looser. And so all I'm doing is pressing it on top. But this will emphasize wrinkles lesser than any other kind I've ever used. Because there are little wrinkles under here, you can't completely hide them because they're there. But this will really minimize them. And look how, now you see how it's the same. And how that removed the look of, I no longer look like I have a black eye, or that it's really sunken, or that it's sagging. And one of the things I like about this the best is it lasts all day. And that was one of my issues with liquids and other brands, even expensive brands or cheap brands, it didn't matter. One of my issues was by noon, I'd look at myself in the mirror and go, where'd my makeup go? Where'd it go? It looks like I don't have any makeup on. Well, I heard somebody say one time, the reason is because if it's a liquid, your skin just keeps absorbing it. It just keeps absorbing and absorbing. And that's why it kind of fades. And also the oils in your face can, if you have oilier skin particularly, can kind of mix with it and fade it out. Well, there's 2 things about this one. It is, because it's a wax, it is a bigger molecule than a liquid, and your skin can't absorb it. It's just not soak into your skin. It sits on top of your skin like an extra layer of skin. Your skin can't absorb it. It is also gluten-free, paraben-free, harsh chemical-free. It does not have things in it that cause cancer. Like some, if they have parabens, they think parabens cause cancer. We have no parabens. But because your skin can't absorb it, it's not going into your bloodstream like other liquids and stuff are. And I was thinking what else I was going to say about it being wax. Oh, the other thing I said about liquids that was the problem was that it mixed with the oils in your face and it kind of dissipates your makeup. Oil and wax don't mix. You can have the oiliest skin, and I did before the skincare really kind of cleared it up. You can have the oiliest skin, and it will not mix or dilute this makeup. Because it's just like if you've ever made salad dressing and you have oil and water, eventually it separates. You cannot mix wax and oil. They don't mix. And so this will not be at all dissipated, or it won't be damaged by the oils of your skin. If you have really big pores, I actually have really big pores right here because I used to have acne when I was young, and some when I was old still too. Not anymore, thank goodness, but that's what the natural skincare will do. It got rid of my acne. But this will reduce the appearance of pores. Can't actually reduce the size of real pores. You can't make them smaller, but you can make them appear smaller. All right, there we go. Now, I didn't do any contour today, but you can use some of your eyeshadow with contour. And so let's go ahead and use this brush. Cute little brush, isn't it? And if you do this a little high, and you want a color that looks like a shadow, so you want a cool brown, this will give your whole face like a lift, and it thins it. So if you have, I have a very full right here. This will help lift it. Now, that's a little dark, so if you say, oh my gosh, it's too dark, I probably could have used the color below. Oh, goes my phone making its notifications. Take your powder brush and go over it, and you can soften it. The other place I like to put is down here because I have all this going on. So remember what I told you about dark and light. Dark will cause things to recede. So I want this to recede. I don't want to see this. And so I can, well, I didn't put, I'll show you what I usually use. I usually use a dark foundation. So the powder is just drier, and this is less dry. And so if I use this, just pick up a little of this. And this is, we have foundations for all skin tones. This is a very dark foundation. But it can be used because it's a cool brown as contour as well, if you're lighter skinned. I think we have something like 34 shades of foundation. But this, so what this does is gives the illusion of a shadow. And because it looks like a shadow, it no longer looks like you have like a kind of a double chin. It just looks like a shadow. And if it's darker than you want it, you know, get another sponge. That's what this is the sponge. I don't want to overdo the dark. There. So they're going to look a little thinner. Now I'm going to set that also with the powder. Kind of will calm it down. Fade it a little bit more. It's funny, it looks a lot darker on the phone than it does in my mirror. Likes to do that. All right, but still look, I haven't done the shadow over here yet, so now that I've got all the light up here, but you see how this looks protruding? It looks protruding because it is protruding. So I took away the dark circle, And now you can see how puffy this is. Because hoods are usually puffy. That's why they cover your lid. So what the dark does is sink it. So I sunk the hood and I popped out my dark circle. So I kind of did the opposite. I made this look like it recedes and this looks like it's popped out. So it doesn't look sunken here, and I want it to look pulled back there because I don't want the puff. So let's do what we did over there. Let me get I'm putting up stuff I'm done with. I'm done with that, that, and that. Okay, so we need, let's do the brow. And spray my setting spray down on my little palette again. This thing's not wanting to spray. It doesn't want to spray. It doesn't want to spray like that. Say nope, nope. So I felt like after I got my table to a more manageable increase, I felt like I conquered the world because it took me over an hour. Okay, this is my Ashen for Trouble color. So to do my brow, I start at the base here, and I'm going to draw a line from there straight up to where the peak is, which is where your hair grows the highest. It's usually about 2/3 of the way over your brow. And then I'm going to go up a little bit higher. So this is the bottom. I'm going to just draw an angled line all the way up to there. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn the brush and go down. Now, you want to try to not go way down because that, again, will pull your eyes down. Now, I have a lot of hair that, well, not a lot, but I have some hair that grows here. If you don't have a lot of hair there, you can just angle it out even more. It'll give you more of a lift. But if I do that, I'm going to look like I have a brow there and a brow there. And because I do have a few hairs there that are brown, if my hair was lighter, it would be different. Then but I have to kind of stay with my shape, or I have to get rid of those hairs, and I don't want to shave off what little hairs I have. So then you're going to go to the top, and you're going to draw a parallel line and meet at that same peak. And then you have this space in between, and then you color the space in to fill it in. And then you're going to like cut it off. You have to try to do it the same as the other. Don't get yourself bent out of shape trying to do them exactly the same, because it's very difficult to exact. And most people's natural brows are not exactly the same. They kind of grow asymmetrical. Now, the difference between this brow and this brow right now is I blurred the front of this, and this has a harsh line. Your brows do not grow as a harsh line, and this looks really artificial, even though this whole look is a glam brow, which is not your real brows. You can get a more natural look with our brow pencil, or we have a brow gel. But I kind of like the full filled in look for me because I hardly have really spacey, sparse looking brows, and it's aging, so this is anti-aging. So what you want to do is you want to blur the beginning because it looks more like a natural, and I usually do that with the brush, and then I take my finger and just rub some of it away because you want the faded look here, because it looks like how natural brows grow. You don't want a harsh line because then it just looks like you drew it there. And yes, I did just draw it there, but I don't really want it to look like that. So that looks a little more close. And I have a little bit, and if you don't get them, exactly the same, go and touch it up. I have a little bit more, it's fatter over here. So you either have to take your concealer and thin one, or take your color and thicken the other. Just try to match them up. Then I'm going to go back to, let's see, I started with this color. This one's Taupe for the Best that I started on this eye. So this I am going down at an angle you don't want to go all the way up to here, but I'm starting here and going down to the line at an angle. So you're gonna do the outside corner of your eye and kind of aim toward the end of your brow, but you don't go all the way up. Then I'm going to go across my hood at the bottom part of my hood. If I did the crease, a lot of people say put stuff in your crease. My crease disappears. So I can put anything on my crease. You will never see it. So what you're doing here is you're making a fake crease. You're pretending your crease is up here, and it depends on your eyes. So if you can see your crease, and if your eyes naturally look like this, where you can see your lid, just go barely above your crease. That will give your eye a lift. But what you need to do to find out where do I put mine, look straight ahead and don't do this. Just relax your eyes down. And you can see where you see your skin. That is where you're going to put the shadow. Right there where it shows above your eye. Now see how high that is for me? It's not going to be that high up for everybody. But you want it right there, right above your eye. If it's below your eye line, you won't see it. You don't waste your time. Put it where it can be seen. So I'm going to just blend it, and you want to blend. If you don't blend, it's going to look really harsh and ridiculous. You want it to look like a shadow, like a faded in and out shadow, not a harsh streak. And then I usually take an extra brush that's clean, a fluffy one, and then I kind of go over the edges so it softens them. Because then you have a gradual change from your skin to this, not a harsh line. And it just looks like a soft transition and not a stark, ooh, what did you smear on your eye? Look. Did you do that with a magic marker? You don't want that look. You want this softer look. And I could probably even do more. If you don't like it, you're like, oh, it still looks good. Just keep doing this. Keep going with it. Now, you could just do that and be done, actually. You can do one color. You can do that and be done. But I like to darken the outside a little bit because it's more of a cat eye look. It makes this part show up better. And where did my other brush go? Did I do it? I think I did it with this one. Yeah, I think I did. Okay. So I'm going to take this really dark color again. This one is called La Vida Mocha. That's what that one's called. So I'm going to kind of go over the same place. That same little angle. See? From there to there. Down to the bottom. Just need some more on it. So I've drawn a line, pretty much. And then I'm going to go across a little ways. I'm not going to go all the way. So it's just going to be in this corner and kind of fill it in. And this is where I say it looks like a little tornado. Sort of fat up here and narrows at the bottom. But it is a sideways V. So you got your point of your V over here, like that. Now, this is where if you want it to look real sharp, you can get your concealer and sharpen that edge up. But the rest of it, you don't want to be sharp. Or you can leave it all soft. So this outside depends on whether you want soft or whether you want sharp. Sharp is just more of a contrast, but that's your spot right there. I usually do it soft, keep it all kind of blurry, and then that's what I'm doing is I'm blending right here where these two colors meet. I'm doing a lot of swirling of this brush, so there is no line of dark brown, light brown, or medium brown. I'm blending them together so you don't see where they stop and start, also right here. Because I want it to look like it just naturally graduates to a darker color. And that all that takes is blending with this clean brush. And there we have. And see, this kind of gives the look of a wing without a wing. And as I said, if I do actual wings, because my skin sags, the wing will go, ugh. So I can put one on there, but then my skin does that. And so then the wing does that. And so then I have swoops. And if I do it, if I like counteract it, then when my eyes are like, it just looks funny if you have really saggy eyes. So if you're really young or you really have tight skin there, you can do that. Otherwise, I'm just doing what I can do with my eye. You got to work with what you got. I'm going to take this same dark brown that I just put in the corner on this little brush. And I'm lining. This is about halfway. Again, to keep my eyes with the open look. It's more youthful looking. And I'm lining the outer half of the top with this dark brown. We do have smudge-proof, waterproof eyeliners. But I usually wear them if I'm going to work. But I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm just doing a soft, easier. But look, see how that just looks like I got thicker lashes? But I don't. I just got liner. And if you do like to do your waterline, which is right in here, you can use our waterproof eyeliner for that. My eyes violently protest the waterline being done. And they will just water. Oh, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. Does not matter what kind, what brand. It doesn't matter what kind I use. I cannot put anything in my waterline. My eyes. Mm-mm. And I really don't know this all that good, you know. Because what you put on your waterline goes in your eye. So I'm not crazy about that anyway. So I just don't do the waterline. But doing your waterline will make your eyes look smaller. It'll shrink it down. But a lot of people with hooded eyes will do it's called tight lining. They'll do their waterline up here. And that will give you a little more lid space. But I have 0 lid space, so it doesn't matter. And so you have to compromise with either get your eyes a little closed or you have to cover a little bit of your lid. You have to pick, like, which one do you want. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that because my skin is looser since I'm older, when I close my eyes and stuff, I think it kind of rolls a little bit in my skin. It rolls a little bit into my eye, more than probably would have years ago. And so it puts more of the product on my eyeball, and my eyes are like, So I just don't even try. I don't even try to do it. So now we're going to do this again. And I thought, if you want to stay a little longer, I thought I would do a little patriotic, shouldn't take long, a little patriotic look because Monday, as you know, is Martin Luther King Day. I have off of work. Yay! So happy. And I'm going to do my mascara over there. So I'm like, well, this is a good patriotic day. We got inauguration. We have Martin Luther King Day. And I was looking for a graphic at work that I wanted, like a patriotic heart. And I found one and I'm like, ooh. So I was just putting it in an email. But I'm like, you know what? I can do that with my makeup. I think I can do that with my makeup. So why don't we do a little patriotic heart on my face? Now, no, I don't wear that anywhere, but I like to do fun makeup, especially for holidays. I just did some Christmas. I love Halloween because I do Halloween makeup. That's really fun. But I did the Grinch for Christmas, and I put what am I trying to say? A Christmas tree on my face. Winter, I did a little snowman look. I've done snowflake look. Just for fun, you know? Just something different to watch, more entertaining. And so I was looking at that little heart thinking, now, wouldn't that make the cutest, it's like a makeup decal on your face. So, let's try to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm really terrible at drawing hearts, but I'm going to try. So, you know, if it's a little asymmetrical, we're going to pretend I did it on purpose. All right, so I'm going to draw. This is a red lip liner. And it's also challenging because my skin is loose. So I try to draw, and it just wants to. This would be great for Valentine's too. I have to do some Valentine's makeup. It just wants to move my skin. All right, let's see what we can do here. I can draw one side really good, and then the other side, whew. It's just almost impossible to get them the same. All right, that's not too shabby. It's a little fuller over here, but that's okay. I can live with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the outside of this one a little bit more. Hard for me to see what I'm doing from the side eye. I think I'm just messing it all up. And then this one, oh, it's going to be challenging. I want to do this. I did that one on the outside. I'm going to do some on the inside. Try to make it a thicker line. Okay, then we're going to live with that. Then, what it had was... Is this what it did? I think it did. Already had... So it's kind of like a flag. Okay, so we had that there. And then it had color. I'm going to slightly color this in. I'm going to fill it in more in a minute. This is just kind of a generalization here. White, red, okay. No, it's not going to have the right amount of stars and stripes. You just have to live with that. Okay, so then I'm going to take my, I don't know if I want a different brush. I'm going to use a different brush. This is our lightest shade of foundation. It is called Porcelain. I could use a concealer, but I'm going to try this because it's a little lighter than the concealer. It is called Porcelain. It was specifically created for Queen Amidala in Star Wars. If you've ever watched Star Wars, when you first see her, and she's the queen, and she has like this white face and the lipstick that just goes like right there. Just this big headdress. She was wearing this. Now, this is not a copy of it. This is the company that made it. It was this exact color. It's called Porcelain. It's very, very, very white. Very few people would actually be this color. This is like the lightest foundation ever. Gives you kind of the impression that it's white. So I'm just filling in the stripes. I don't know if I've done a patriotic thing before. Have I? Now, this would be awesome if you were going to a rally or something. Wouldn't that be fun? This would be good for the 4th of July. Veterans Day. Yeah, see? White. I'll go down here to the bottom. I noticed, because I was doing my laundry, I noticed they were out turning our sprinklers on outside today. And I'm like, okay. I guess what hasn't, maybe, it rained a little bit the other day, but maybe it wasn't enough. I don't know. So, this is the one right outside my back door. It was just spraying on the sidewalk out there. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's doing a lot of good right there. Maybe the sidewalk will grow. Hopefully they adjusted it and fixed it. That was funny. Oh, right on the sidewalk, of course. Of course. I'm glad I wasn't out there walking around at that time. I'm glad they waited till I was done. Okay, so now I'm going to take... Let me see. What do I want to use here? I know I have white eyeshadow. I'm going to use eyeshadow. Oops. Okay, here's my white eyeshadow. This has actually got a little shimmer. And this little brush. And I'm going to press the eyeshadow onto this foundation. Just kind of give it a more opaque white look. I don't know if it's really showing up more on the video. But this also sets it. Remember, we have to set it. So that way you don't go like that with your hand. You smear it. Like you did all that. Okay, so there I've set my white. Cute. I don't know if I'm that level, but we're going to pretend I did that on purpose to you. I can do what I want. It's my face, my makeup. I say I did that on purpose. I did on purpose. Kind of like it at a slant anyway. Okay, so now what was I going to do? All right, I'm going to get this. This is from Ulta. It's called the James Charles palette. Lime Life doesn't have a lot of these colors. This has a lot of really super bright colors. It's made by Morphe. I don't know if they make this one anymore, but they have others that'll have similar colors like this. So there's a red in here. You see this red? A red. We don't have a red. I have a red blush, but I don't have a red eyeshadow. At least I don't have one yet. You never know. We get new stuff all the time. And I'm trying to figure out what brush I'm going to use here. Because I don't want a brush that already has something else on it, if I can help that. Let's see what this brush has on it. Let's rub it on a napkin. Get it on my little color switch here. Looks like it had black on it. Oh, I don't know about black. That's hard to get rid of that color. About this one. I'm going to need to wash my brushes, obviously. I have 8 billion brushes. It's so much easier to just say, I'll try another brush. But then eventually you've tried them all. It's time to wash the brushes. Okay, here we go. Little brush. And the red eyeshadow. And we're going to put it on top of the red lip liner. And see how lip liner is just going to... Oh, see, now look at that. It just gives it a base. And it gives it something to cling to. That shows up really well. Colors it in really well. Now our lip liners are also waterproof. It is kind of a wax-based lip liner. Gives this gripability. That's amazing. See, now it almost looked a little pink before. This reds it right up, doesn't it? Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the outline with it too. But not with this big fat brush. That's not bad. Alright, so then we're going to use, I think we will try this blue. It's kind of like a Pepsi blue. Pepsi can blue. And I think I'm going to, because if I don't, it's not going to look the same. I'm going to use, I'm trying to think here, what do I want to use? I think I'm going to put more of this. Where did I put it? I'm going to put this foundation on again, this white. This is just like whitewashing a canvas. Oh, I didn't want to put that on there. Too late to put it on there now. I was going to use the other brush. Where's my other brush? My other brush has more on it. There it is. Okay, and put this on here. I do have a blue eyeliner, but it is dark, like blackish navy, and I think it would be too dark. So I'm just using this white. Again. Then I'm going to take that blue. And let me get rid of the red on this brush. Okay. And then we're going to fill the blue in. Yeah, see, this is dark enough. That's going to work. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea, oh beautiful for spacious sky, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, hasn't he though? And crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. There's a little free concert for you while I colored. I like that blue. That's pretty. Okay, now I'm going to go to, oh, let's try this little brush. Little tiny brush there. And I'm going to take the red and darken the outline to match the stripes. Okay. Yeah, blends better. Just makes it fit with the rest so much better. It is really challenging to do the side of your face because it's like your direction is off at an angle. And you're like, oops, I went too far left or right or something. It's very bizarre. It's like an illusion a little bit. Very hard to go back over the same line. Oh, I like that. All right, now, what are we going to do for stars? Well, let me show you that. So I'm going to take, let me see here, this little brush that I know I have here somewhere. Here it is. It's a cute little angle brush. When I first got this brush that came in a set, I thought, oh, it's broken. No, it's not broken. It's made that way. I'm like, oh, they did it on purpose. Oh. Okay, I'm going to take this same foundation, this real light one, and I'm going to pick some of this up. And I'm just going to make dots for stars. Oh yeah, look at that. So you really only have to give the illusion of stars, right? 6 stars. It's probably going to be horrifically crooked. It's very hard to get off this brush. Come on. There we go. Cute. So we are now going to be down to 9 states. Which ones we going to keep? But that's okay. It's not an exact flag. Oh, look at that. I'm really happy with that. Now, since I put some more of this on here, I'm going to take my brush and a little powder and we'll set those dots I just did. Because, remember, I haven't put any powder on that, and so it's smearable to put some powder on. So I don't want to smear any of this, so I'm going to put powder on the brush, and then I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to go ahead and go around the whole thing. Tappy, tap, tap. And then I'm going to put on my setting spray, which will lock it in better. We have 2 setting sprays, Oil Strike for oily skin, Time Setter for dry, older skin. This has anti-aging properties in it that will last, it's time released. It will last 16 hours. I know it's backwards, but it says 16. The Oil Strike is time released for 16 hours that you will get oil control for 16 hours. All right, so I'm going to put this on. There you go. There we are. Now we have one more thing. No, you know what? We have 2 more things, actually. I should have done it before that, the spray, but it's too late. I forgot to put blush on. Now, I'm not going to put blush over there because I have a heart. Now, that's not too shabby looking of a heart, I don't think, for as bad as I am at it. So I'm going to put a little blush. This is the one that's my favorite. It's number 1, called Alive. Angle brush. Pick up a little blush. And I do it high on my cheeks. Because, again, it gives me a lift. And I don't want to do it here or it pulls you down again. It also can start making you look like a clown. So this is, to me, a little more natural and more lifting. So I just do it here. And they say you should put blush where if you went out in the sun, you got little pink cheeks, where would you get it? I would get it right here. Because this is the poofiest, highest part of my face right here. That's where the sun would get me. And that's where I put the blush, because that looks like I went in the sun. Now I could, if I use just the tip of this, try to put a little here, because actually I don't have it up there. I just don't want to smear. I should have done this first, but I don't want to smear my... Although it shouldn't smear, but I don't want to get this on it either. So I'm just kind of doing that so that I kind of have a similar glow over here. Now if you missed, if you want to set it with spray again, just do those 2 little spots. Now the last thing we have to do is lipstick. And we have all kinds of lipstick. We have we have enduring lip colors, which will last up to 6 hours. It's one that dries to a matte. We have regular lipstick that, it's just in a thing like this. Regular, that's not it, but it's in a tube like that. And it's more moisturizing, but it is not long lasting. And then we have one of my favorite tricks where we have lip gloss. And this is one of and lip liners. My favorite tricks for this. All right, so I have nothing on my lips, no color. This is, my lips are very faded. So I'm taking a dark nude lip liner, which is like a natural lip color, only a little darker. And I'm going to line my lips, and I go a little higher, just right here at the Cupid's bow. Give myself a little fuller lip. If you want a fuller lip, don't make it full the whole way on the top, or it looks like a cloud. If you want fuller looking lips, you only want to do it like right here. And then for the rest of the lip, you follow the natural line. And you don't need to go in here to the corner, because that will pull your lips down like that. Particularly if you have this little thing going on. And if it's not high enough or they're not even, just go a little higher. Okay, so you can see it's a very natural color. And then again, you don't need to go all the way out there. You could also, if you're gonna make this one fuller, you just want to go from here to here with the fuller part, meaning just go a little below your line. And then when you get to this spot, so let's do that. You can stay with your natural line if you want. But see, I started here and ended there. And then when you get to that spot, then you're going to rejoin your natural lip line. And then stop out like there, not up there. Because you're rejoining your natural lip line, it will now look like your whole natural lip. But look how much fuller my lips look. Now, once you get your lip liner done, you can just color this in with it if you want. And it'll be waterproof. You can put one of these on. You can put regular lipstick on. Or you can put any. We have a lot of colored glosses as well. Like different colors. Pinks, peaches, purples, all kinds of colors. Or, this is clear gloss. But this is the coolest trick. Because you know I had no lip color on other than this liner. But when I put this on, it's going to suddenly look like I put lipstick on. It's so cool. I see no color. See on here? Clear. I'm going to put it, and I'm not going to go the ishy-gushy corners either. And do that, just the front half. Now I look like I have lipstick on. And I just have clear gloss. And I had, because you've been watching me this whole time, you saw I had very colorless lips. I don't have a lot of color in my lips. I don't know why. But this gives the illusion. And it's just clear gloss. Because of the liner and the shiny. I just look like I painted my whole lips. I saw somebody else do that online one time. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You just look like you put lipstick on your whole lip. You did it. Pretty amazing. And this lip gloss is not sticky or like, it doesn't, it's real moisturizing. It doesn't, and none of our lipsticks taste Nasty. Have you ever gotten a lipstick that tastes like chemicals? Oh, yeah. They do not taste bad. They don't taste like chemicals, so we don't put harsh chemicals in our makeup. Or in our skincare. Our skincare is actually all natural. Or it's like 99% natural, and if it has a chemical in it, it's not a harsh cancer-causing chemical. It would only be because either for the stability of it or even our preservative. If we, you know what we use for preservatives in a lot of our skincare? Rosemary. Natural rosemary, because it's natural. But our skincare is mostly like all natural. Some of the products are actually 100% natural. It depends on what it is, but they don't even put a chemical preservative in it. All right, there you go. Fun. Now, before I go, I always, at the end, always read a little devotion. So let me go ahead and read my devotion. And this is where we are today with our devotion. This is Beth Moore praying God's Word day by day. And the prayer will come from Ephesians 3:16 through 21. And she says, only the places where we allow the love of God to fully penetrate will be satisfied and therefore liberated. Well, that's an interesting statement. If you have a place in you, this is to me is what it's saying, so I'm going to say it in reverse. If you have a place in you that is not satisfied or is in bondage, it is, which is the opposite of liberated. That means that is a place where you have not allowed the love of God to fully penetrate. That's an interesting statement. So we need to say, I think we need to say, God, penetrate this spot where I feel dissatisfied, and penetrate this spot where I feel I am not free with your love. And here's our prayer. God, I pray that out of your glorious riches you will strengthen me with power through your Spirit in my inner being, so that Christ may dwell in my heart through faith. And I pray that I, being rooted and established in love, may have power, together with all the saints, to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that I may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. Now to you who are able to do immeasurably more than all I ask or imagine, according to your power that is at work within me, to you be glory in the church in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen. All right, there is so much in this passage from the Bible. Gosh, there's so much in here. So let's go back in some of these thoughts that were popping up as I was reading this. Okay, where was the first one? Let's just say, God, I pray out of your glorious riches, you will strengthen me with the power through your Spirit in my inner being, so that Christ may dwell in my heart through faith. And I pray that I, being rooted and established in love, may have power, together with all the saints, to grasp how wide, long, and high and deep is the love of Christ. Here's the first thought I had. How wide, how long, how high, and how deep is the love of Christ. If you aren't feeling really connected to his love, and it is feeling shallow to you, that you are wondering, does he even love me? And we've all wondered that, so don't feel bad. I'm not criticizing, because there are times I've said, God, why do you hate me? This is how I felt. It's how I felt at the time. So if you're not feeling loved, we have not grasped how wide, long, high, and deep is the love of Christ. We're not grasping it at that moment. And then it says, to know this love that surpasses knowledge. And this is a lot of the reason. 16 new comments. Wow. And this is a lot of the reason why we aren't grasping the love of Christ, because we're not letting it surpass our knowledge. And I do this a lot. I'm trying to rely on my thinking, my knowledge, what I know and what I'm feeling and thinking at the time. And the love of Christ surpasses that. So what you sometimes have to do is say, all right, I know what I'm saying or thinking right now is not right. I know it's not right because it's not lined up with the Word of God, so I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go, the fact that I don't understand this. I'm going to let it go. And then his love can just override it. It surpasses it. It's not dependent on your thoughts in your mind. It's a spiritual thing, and it can surpass your knowledge if you let go of your knowledge. That I may be filled with the fullness, to the measure of all fullness with God, who is able to do immeasurably more than I ask or imagine. And this is the key here. according to your power that is at work within me. And I have said many times, God has not even done what I ask or imagine, let alone above what I ask or imagine. Maybe because I am not letting the fullness of his power work within me. Now, I'm not purposely stopping it, but maybe I'm not letting it surpass my own faulty understanding. So if he is going to do above all that you ask or imagine, it is according to the power that works in you. In other words, God has all power. But how much of it are you allowing to work in you? How much are you letting go of your own efforts and saying, God, just do it with your power. Just do it with your power. Let your power work in me. Well, just pray that. God, let your power work in me. You know, there's a song Petra sang years ago called, it's called Send Your Power. Send your power, oh Lord our God. Send your power, oh Lord our God, oh Lord our God. Send your power. That's why maybe we are failing in some of these things, why I fail in some of these things, that I don't see this. I don't feel I have this. I don't feel I'm getting this. Maybe my holding on to my thoughts is keeping his power at bay. Not because it doesn't have enough power, but maybe I'm just not saying, okay, God, unleash your power. Unleash your power. I'm letting go of what I think. Unleash your power. And that is when he can do exceedingly abundantly above all. And sometimes that happens right away. That's the other issue. But that verses had so much in it. Send your power, O Lord our God, into our nation today. We need a great revival. We need a worldwide revival starting here. And I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you were blessed today. I hope you learned some stuff about makeup and that you had some fun watching me draw weird things on my face. So be very blessed. And until next time, go be amazing. Bye.